It has been a long time, but for a return, we got some new cards. We have three tabs to look at. First, future and ancient Pokemon, ancient and future Pokemon. These were revealed at the World Championships for Paradox Rift, which will be Scarlet and Violet 4. These will effectively act as the quote-unquote gimmick of this next block, which will be similar to Rapid and Single Strike Pokemon. They each have, as we can see, they each have a tag, Ancient or Future, and they will come with a Future Energy Capsule. The reason why starting with this instead of the newer stuff is because it shows what the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule and partial the Future Energy will look like. So with Ancient Booster, we can see that Ancient Pokemon get 60 HP and immunity to special conditions, which is decent. Every Paradox Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, so unless special conditions become much more relevant in the future, I would just run Bravery Charm instead of Ancient Energy Capsule, unless it's Brute on it because it needs Capsule. Because 50 and 60 HP is not too much of a difference. So Bravery Charm would just be better because it can also be used on more Pokemon in the deck. As for the future Energy Capsule, this picture is a bit blurry. Poke Guardian has a better one, not Poke Beach, but people are speculating it is going to be Free Retreat and a plus 30, which could be... It's obviously pretty good, but I don't think they would do that for... I don't think they would do that right off the bat. Yes, they had a favoritism towards Rapid Strike Pokemon over Single Strike, but seeing how they're designing cards in the Scarlet and Violet block, I feel like they would maybe try and make everything more even, but that is for the future to decide, because we have no idea what is coming for these two cards. As we can see, these are the promos that we're getting: Roaring Moon, Brute Bonnet, Iron Valiant, Iron Moth. Some of these are interesting, most importantly Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant, because auto KO and a lot of spread damage from Iron Valiant. These two are interesting. Brute Bonnet auto poisons with the Capsule Energy, and Iron Moth feels like bulk. Now, onto the actual new stuff. Deoxys, Heat, Rotom, Volcanion, and more from Tera, Mewtwo, and Skeldurge decks. The Skeldurge and Mewtwo is Skeldurge Stage 2, discard a fire. All your Pokemon do 60 HP, do 60 damage more, and it does stack. Mewtwo, I'm glad it was a Lightning type print, because it would be broken in Gardevoir, because it is 30 damage for all your Psychic Energy in play. You just accelerate everywhere, spread your damage thin, so you can't get knocked out. But no, it's a Psychic type, it can't get accelerated. Why are these ads here? Anyways, on to the new stuff. Executor. Bulk, 160, 200 to your hand. Yeah, nothing special. Xatu, 100 HP, so immediately that is relevant because it cannot be level searchable, which would be great. Because once during your turn, attach a basic Psychic from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw two. This is Shadow Rider Calyrex Power Crept. The Shadow Rider was a 3-prizer, stage 1 as well, effective stage 1. But it had to be a basic Psychic Pokemon. This is basic. This is not a basic Psychic. It had to be benched Psychic. This is benched anything, and you can draw two on a 1-prizer, stage 1. We have Gardevoir in format. It's much more consistent. I don't think this will see play. Maybe for rogue stuff like Mewtwo, obviously, but we'll see what happens. Deoxys, 120 for 3. Move energy, not good. 100, 40 to self, no. Volcanion. Dual Turbo, 20 damage. 2 of your bench Pokemon attach 1 fire energy. If you remember Steam Siege days, you will remember Power Heater. That did the same thing, actually, I believe. 20 damage, 2 bench, attach a fire. That had Volcanion EX in format. This has Rapidash from Silver Tempest and also Skeldurge. So it could be somewhat of a viable starter Pokemon. Who knows? Basically, as long as you get the energy and discard, you should be good, but we will see where it takes us. Here's where the big stuff comes in. Gholdengo EX, Hoopa EX, and illustration rares from Raging Surf. We see there is Mantyke, which finally gets a card after 16 years, and they're treating it right with a illustration rare, as it deserves. You definitely should get one after being absent for 16 years. Flussel, Minun, Yveltal, Garchomp. Answer translations. Lapras. Into the deep, 3 basic energy from your discard to your hand. Meh. Freeze dry, 50, flip a coin if it's paralyzed. Yeah, it's not good. Remoraid, just evolve it. Auxiliary, plays from your hand, draw 3. The only thing I can see being appealing about this, it's Yukimori art, and I know a lot of people, myself included, do collect Yukimori cards because they look adorable. I'll be picking it up just for that reason, but I don't think this will be playable because there's better draw cards. There's the barrel, which fills your hand to 5, which, yeah, it's not pure draw, but it's more than once per turn. 60 damage, 2 energy. If the depending Pokemon tries to attack, flip a coin. Basically, give yourself the baby rule from Neo Genesis, but there's too much switching outs. You can just push it, and that goes away. Plusle, 10 plus 10 for each damage counter on your opponent's active for 2 colorless. This is effectively Farfetched from Brilliant Stars, and that's how I play with Arceus at the start, but I don't think this will see play because it's. You could play it with Electric Generator because it is a lightning Pokemon, but if you're two-shotting something, kind of already on the back foot, it seems to be going back into a one-shot meta, unfortunately, because we've got Gardevoir, we've got Chenpao. 2 hitting is going to put you on the back foot. Minun, Body Pulse, if you have Plusle in play, so that's the only reason you would play this. Basically, you get, not Gape Shot, Old Cemetery, which is whenever you attach an energy, put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you attach, but only for your opponent. Can't apply more than 1 Body Pulse. This is effectively, like I said, Old Cemetery, but also Radiant Charge-a-Bug, which just shows how bad that card was. They nerfed it and put on a one-prizer, or not a one-prizer, put on a non-Radiant Pokemon. So yeah, that just shows how bad that ability was. They had to power creep it. I will talk about Gimmighoul. Actually, talk about Gimmighoul now. 50 HP, Lost Box format. Don't play this. Gimmighoul, 70 HP. Theming. Flip a coin if until you get tails. 20 damage for each. Yeah, perfect theming because Gimmighoul coins. That's its whole shtick. This is the one you would play despite the 2 retreat costs because, again, Lost Box. It's your main attacker. Hoopa EX, Terra type, fighting, so can't use Dark Patch, sadly. Energy cards, 50 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. We have Starmie in play, and that doesn't see play despite all the water support, and it has effectively the same attack. So if Starmie isn't seeing play for this attack, I don't think Hoopa will either. It is hitting a different weakness, but there's just not a lot of ways to accelerate darkness outside of Dark Patch, and that doesn't work on this because it's a fighting type. Scoundrel Fist 200, can't attack next turn, switch out. Just simple as that. So, funny thing is, you can, with this Hoopa, for, I would assume, effectively 3 months until rotation hits, which we would assume to be around February, April time if last year is anything to go off of, you can hit Fighting, Psychic, and Dark weaknesses with just Hoopa, because Hoopa V from Fusion Strike exists, which is pretty hilarious. Nickit, Thievul, Sneaky Snatch, play this card from your hand, fall one of your Pokemon, look at your opponent's hand, choose 2 energy, and shuffle them back in. No, not good. If it was trainers, it'd be better, but energy is just, your opponent has a ton of them. It does say energy, not basic, so if you can shuffle a special energy, it could be decent, but I don't see it being good. I will talk about this later because I have thoughts on this one. Chantal, flip a coin. If heads, boss. If tails, switch. It would have been better if it was Guzma, but even that was toxic as hell. I wouldn't recommend bringing that back, ever. So yeah. Parasol Lady, shuffling hand, draw 4, not good. If you go second, it's your first turn, shuffle, draw 8. I would assume shuffle, draw 8, and not draw until 8. Because why would they make you draw cards instead of shuffle? As a one-off, it'd be fine, but Luminion is being played in decks that want to play other supporters, so I don't think it would be played for this. Yeah, just as a one-of to hit it if you go second, but other than that, I don't see it. This is overhyped. I'm just going to say this now. This is overhyped. Yes, it's a stage 1. Yes, it has an ability that draws cards. Yes, it does have basically an unlimited damage cap. I don't think it's good because I have been trying to test out Blastoise, which, yes, that is a stage 2. You need to muck up your deck with rare candies. It also doesn't have a draw ability. But I have been finding myself struggling with Blastoise to get even just 2 energy into my hand. Am I building it wrong? Probably. But this, yes, it has Adamant, but you're discarding 2 metal energy, which would be effectively discarding 2, which would effectively be discarding 100 damage from your hand. Yes, you can grab retrieval for that to get back said 100 damage, but I, unless you're going up against Chien-Pao, you need to get uh, you need to get a ton of energy into your hand. The reason why Chien-Pao can do it so well is because Chien-Pao has the ability. It also has Irida, which is Chien-Pao is just 2 energy straight from deck. Irida just grabs you the superior energy retrieval right then and there. You don't need to discard effectively 4 cards to do so, which you need to do with Adamant because you need to discard the 2 metal to get the retrieval. Then you need to discard 2 more cards to retrieve the energy with superior. So I think this deck is overhyped. Yes, you have a built-in draw engine, like I said, but keep in mind this is an EX, which means, unfortunately, Ionopath will just be a killer, especially if you are relying on this to be your draw engine and not something like Babero. I can see where the hype is coming from with this, but I don't know. I don't think this is good. There's also another comparison to be made. Um, there was a Alolan Dugtrio in Ultra Prism, which had effectively the same attack on a one prizer. It was also stage 1. The only difference is it was attacking for free, and even then, that barely saw any play because it's okay. It wasn't the exact same attack. I just searched it. It was 30x instead of 50x, but still, one prizer. Um, One prizer. It attacked for free, and it barely saw any play because it was pretty difficult to get all the energy into hand. I understand I am trying to make a point of a entirely different format, but still, if there was an attack that had effectively the same attack for free on a one prizer that was not on a single prizer, and it barely saw play, I don't think this will be played either. I get that there is comparisons to Baby Blacephalon as well, but keep in mind the support that that had as well. It had Welder, it had Fire Crystal, it had Giant Hearth, it had everything going for it. What do we have for Gholdengo? Basically nothing, unfortunately. I do think this is just overhyped. So we'll see what happens with it, but I don't see this thing making a big splash. So yeah, that is all the new cards that were revealed recently. So I will see if I can hopefully upload more with all this new stuff because the Scarlet and Violet era has been so much fun to play, honestly. And I want to actually try and start making content about this because I want to help people with with their game plan, basically. So hopefully I can get more time to upload videos, but for now, that is all that I have to say about these cards. So until next time.